Good morning and welcome to PWR Today. It's Tuesday morning. It's June 9th, 2020. Coming up in the show, we're going to talk to Dave Herro. He's going to tell us about how Raw to him felt like Groundhogs Day. We're also going to talk a little bit about NXT in your house from this last Sunday and just a little tease for the PWR draft. Big points scored on Sunday. More points could be scored this coming Sunday. Good morning, Dave. Welcome to the program.
Good morning. How are you?
I've survived this onrush of all these other pay-per-views and have stayed on top of the PWR draft and look to score more points this coming Sunday.
Yeah, you've been pretty lucky.
I wouldn't say lucky. That's a funny word.
No, I mean, your team's not that good. You've just been lucky is what it is. So,
Okay, we'll go with that. But other than that, man, it was a hot one yesterday. Boy, oh boy, I have that redneck tan going, top of my collar and elbow, if you will, is all burnt up.
Good. You need some good color, man. I mean, hey, as long as it looks good on TV, that's all that matters.
Right, exactly. But I'm not one to give color. That's not my gimmick.
Yeah. No, of course not. You're a selfish lover. That's why. But that's okay. That's for a different podcast.
It is a different. I mean, we already went down that path last week with waking up next to Damien. So you're right.
Yeah, exactly. Yes.
Let's start off with Sunday night NXT in your house. I thought it was a fantastic show. For those that didn't get to hear myself and Linda talk about it yesterday morning, I thought it was a fantastic show. Short. And, oddly enough, because we're used to the old gimmick of, 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Central, it was a 6 o'clock Central show for us, and it was done by 8:30.
It was awesome. 2 hours and 20 minutes we were done. And I'm sitting here last night watching Raw. I'm like, God, this is dragging,
Yeah.
But last night's show was fantastic. It worked out great. It was, you know what? I don't watch a lot of NXT, but I thought that everyone involved last night,
that's the pay-per-view on Sunday.
What it is, what it is, man. It was, yeah. I'm still tired from watching Raw last night. Is what it is. Seriously, who needs Ambien? Who needs NyQuil? Who needs Tylenol PM? Just watch 3 hours of Raw, and that's going to put you to sleep, But no, NXT, they did a fantastic job. I mean, everyone went out there, and they busted their ass, and the girls had a super solid, super snug, stiff main event.
Mm-hmm.
And I liked it. It was good.
It took me a week, but it's Io Shirai, the new NXT Women's Champion. I could say her name now.
Yeah,
she's a champ.
She is. She is the champ, and I hope that she keeps it for a while because it seems like the fans really enjoy her and like her. The Charlotte Flair NXT experiment, thank God that's over with. It was good. It was solid. I mean, I was a little apprehensive about Gargano and Keith Lee, but
amazing.
That was a great match too. I mean, they told a really good story. I mean, Keith Lee is a beast. He's a monster. And Gargano was like channeling his inner Shawn Michaels because I saw a lot of similarities of a very heelish Shawn Michaels in Gargano on Sunday.
Well, they didn't have back in the in-your houses during the mid-'90s. They didn't have Ring doorbells, so that was a brand new spot from Gargano.
Yeah, and it was funny because it's like it was just well thought out. I mean, they used that set like a prop, which doesn't happen very often. But it was good. There isn't much I can really complain about the NXT show. I mean, I was shocked it was over in 2 hours and 20 minutes.
It felt good.
I was like, yeah,
it felt good.
Because,
yeah.
You know why? Because we weren't wore out. We weren't tired out. I mean, watching Raw at 8:30, I'm like, God, we have 90 more minutes to go.
Mm-hmm.
8:30
Central.
Yeah, and it's like, and for me, I'm sitting there, I'm like, we still have 2 more talking segments to get through.
Mm-hmm.
It's uncle,
Yeah, and it's kind of tough too because we over the last how many years, 10, 20, 25 years, we've been trained, we've been coached, we've been taught how to watch, and we know when the show ends, and we know what segments are coming up, and so the NXT caught us off guard by getting done early, but then you look at the Raw show going, here's what we got left, and then we got breaks. And I know that last night you really were looking forward to the Profits and the Vikings again, this time in a decathlon.
No, not at all. No, stop. That is
Am I
getting
teasing?
so old. It's so old. It's like now it's to the point they've been doing this for so long, it all blends in together. You know, I
So
sent
you said
Shane
it felt like
Helm.
Groundhog Day, right?
Yeah, Raw is Groundhog Day. It's like everything is the same. I was I sent Shane Helms a message where we're watching Raw last night, and I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
are they gonna have a recap every week of what the Prophets and the Vikings do? It just seems like every week they just rehash, and
He
I'm
did it.
just
I
like,
hope he explained to you that business-wise, they have to do this. You can't put
no.
3 hours in the building in front of plexiglass.
Yes, they can. They can do other things. I don't need to see the Prophets and the Viking Raiders every week with a recap of what they've done the last 3 or 4 weeks. I don't need the recap of the basketball or the golf or the turkey legs or the dancing or all the other nonsense they're doing. There's no payoff in it. What is the reason for it? What are they trying to accomplish? There's no storyline. It's not like they want to beat each other. Now they're becoming best friends.
Yeah, and during my draft strategy, I figured, let's get the Street Profits because they got belts and they'll have matches. They haven't had a match.
No, no, they haven't.
Haven't
And
gotten. I mean, we
I
should have
don't
seen
think
them in a
they have
building
them this
tonight.
week,
Finally,
do they?
well, we saw them in the building. They didn't have a match.
Right. And I
You
don't
know,
think I don't think they have a match on
Backlash?
Sunday
No,
for
no.
Backlash.
Unless it gets announced as a
And
pre-show
it's like,
type deal.
how many times I mean, Humberto Del Rio is uneventful. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
And it's just like Lashley and MVP and Drew McIntyre. They finally showed some fire in that last night. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like
there was
Lashley,
heat. Yeah.
yeah, Lashley now seems like he's a man possessed and a killer again. But I mean, Andrade and Apollo Crews, oof,
I would have
you
preferred
know,
Angel Garza, to be honest with you, because that could have
sure,
been a shock that might have, upset Zelina Vega's group, family, if you
right,
will.
yeah, or even let Kevin Owens go over. He's a bigger star than those other two guys right now, and
Hmm.
that's the problem. You watch Raw, and I hate to completely shit on the entire show, but
Right.
for me to sit through 3 hours, and besides creative, there's so much missing. Like there's no sense of urgency. There's no fire. It feels like everybody is equal. There's no star power. I mean, now they finally have people in the building, so at least there's some background noise. But I'm thinking, was Raw this bad 6 months ago?
Yeah.
You know, I mean, like, who's
No,
really
because
missing?
the
Who's
building. Yeah.
besides? But take the building out of it. I mean,
Okay.
we I mean, you can see some really good indie wrestling in a building that seats 200 people. Okay,
Right.
and it's like
But you'll feel that.
right. But what I'm saying is, with the exception of Brock Lesnar being off of the Raw brand and Randy Orton part time, which he always is usually part time, who is missing from the Raw show since before WrestleMania that has caused such a huge drop off in talent?
That's a tough one to say. So, I mean, you've got the Prophets and the Vikings outside the building, right? They're doing the thing that they're doing. Well,
Mm-hmm.
we beat that into the ground too. They're doing what they're doing right now. You would normally get a match or two from either the Vikings or the Prophets. You'd get other tag team matches. Whereas the contenders for the tag team match, whereas the contenders for the U.S. belt. Now they finally have something for the U.S. belt, and it'll be Andrade and Apollo Crews. You have contenders building themselves up for the main belt. We still haven't got a finish on the Lana stuff. I mean, when does that end? Honestly,
What I'm saying is, it's been that uneventful that we can't remember who was main eventing Raw 3, 4, 5, 6 months ago.
no, I can't remember. I mean,
You know,
besides Drew
and,
McIntyre from the build of Royal Rumble.
right. But what I'm saying is, it's been, and I get it, it's a pandemic and the world is on
Mhm.
fire and all these other crazy kabuki things have been happening.
Yeah.
But it's almost to the point where I wish they would have taken time off because they're damaging the brand. Because if you can't make it, if you are like, for me to sit through 3 hours of Raw, I'm like, this is so hard and I have to watch it.
Right.
Okay. Otherwise, what are we going to talk about today?
And it's funny you say that. I mean, you could trade with, Matthew Thomas because we do specials, but, Dave Herro gets Tuesday mornings for the Raw recap. So,
yeah. What I'm saying is people that are watching it don't have to watch it. They're going to change the channel. And that's why the ratings absolutely suck right now, because there's nothing I want to watch,
right.
So last night, the segment opens with the girls all talking. Okay, I get that. Right now, the girls have the most fire out of all of them. I think the Iconics are great. I think Asuka is great. I think Charlotte is great.
I'm enjoying Sasha and Bailey too. I mean, they have
I'm not
something.
A Bailey guy. There's just something about her that just seems forced.
Yeah.
Maybe she has that whole quote unquote Karen thing going for her right now. I don't know.
She does have a Karen haircut.
Yeah. So you have that opening talking segment. And then they had the Peep Show, another featured talking segment.
Mm-hmm.
And then when that's done, they come back and say, coming up later on the MVP. I'm like, a third featured talking segment? Yep. It's like, and they're really not doing any good business with any of them.
Right. And, with the Peep Show, in any other circumstance, you'd get a crowd pop, and that could have gave some more feel to the Peep Show. Look, we haven't seen Christian in how long have we, that it's been since we've seen Christian?
Well, you've seen him on pre-shows for pay-per-views, but there's actually 4. Then they had the Rey Mysterio call-in segment. That was 4 talking segments in a 3-hour show. And when guys like Seth Rollins aren't wrestling on the show, okay, mm-hmm. that's a blow. Or say what you want about him being, oversaturated on everything, but I'd almost rather see Seth Rollins. I mean, Aleister Black is a legit star. He's going to be one of their top guys,
and he's hanging with the Rey Mysterio story like he's Rey's long lost cousin.
Right, and that makes no sense because they're not even from the same area code. How can
I don't think they have area codes out. You got to dial 01 first or 0111.
Things like that, and like Buddy Murphy and Austin Theory are a great young and up and coming tag team. Mm-hmm. Put them in the tag title scene right now. I don't want to see Humberto and Aleister Black together because Humberto is not in Aleister Black's league. Mm-hmm. He is head and shoulders ahead of him. Like I saw Humberto when NXT was in Milwaukee a year or so ago. I'm like, this kid has a ton of potential. He's a good-looking young baby face with some great fire. He needs some seasoning. They called him up too early. He's not ready for Raw yet. He's not ready for SmackDown. Keep him in NXT. Let him figure himself out. But, right now, Humberto Del Rio is in a spot where Legacy was, if you remember, with Cody Rhodes,
sure.
Ted DiBiase Jr., and
I think Axel was in there. Curtis Axel.
It might have been Curtis Axel. Well, they're going to burn this kid out of just getting his ass beat every week. And then eventually his value is going to be nothing, So it's just, there's just so many things that aren't being thought out. It's like they're throwing stuff up against the wall. I understand they're trying to use all the talents that are in Orlando.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm begging you, create some stars, do something that makes me want to watch. And they're not doing it. And I hate being negative about the brand and the product because I love it. It's been a huge part of my life. But if their goal is to turn people away, they're just killing it right now, and they're going to.
You make a good point on the girls seeming to have the most fire, the women, of NXT and Raw. I mean, last night's Raw main event, 30 plus minutes of Asuka and Charlotte Flair. Yeah. Amazing match. I mean, that actually had me going. That had something to it.
Well, and I would much rather watch that than another talking segment right now, because here's the difference. Back when, I hate to go back to the Attitude Era, but you had guys that could talk, okay? It breaks my heart when I see Kurt Angle reading off a teleprompter to cut his promo.
Yeah. That's
Kurt Angle. Let him go. I don't want to see Kurt Angle reading. What is up with that? You know what I mean? I mean, that's how you take away the authenticity of the show. It's like Kurt Angle never read off when he would cut his promos with Rock and Austin and Taker and Kane and DX and whoever. You never saw his eyes going back and forth like he's reading a script. He just went.
Right, exactly. And that wasn't just in the ring. Obviously, there's no teleprompters in the ring. That was backstage. That was just Kurt Angle shooting. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It is tough to watch.
They're dropping the ball big time right now.
But I guess the benefit, too, is that, on Monday nights, what are they competing against? And maybe that's where part of it is that they don't have anything to compete against. They're kind of an established brand. They're getting almost, I wouldn't say lazy, because nobody's getting lazy. I mean, the talent out there is working as hard as they can.
Their ratings are under 8.2 right now. It's like a 1.9 or 1.8, 1.7.
Mm-hmm.
They're competing
That's where my beloved
against
WCW died at.
They're competing with people changing the channel. And again, when you tune into Monday Night Raw, who are you hoping to see?
When I turn in the Monday Night Raw,
who is your must-see?
Man, if they opened up with Flair and Asuka, that'd be great. I'd love to watch the girls work. My must-see, though?
Yeah. What is the one?
I don't have
one or two talents? Oh, that's the problem.
I don't have
because
one.
Because when it was great, we wanted to see what The Rock was going to say. We wanted to see what Steve Austin was going to do. We wanted to see what kind of shenanigans DX got into. We wanted to see what crazy bump Mick Foley was going to take. We wanted to watch Too Cool Dance with Rikishi.
Even after that, I wanted to watch Jericho. I wanted to watch, Cena became a thing. Wanted to watch Edge. I mean, when you go to that segment after that, maybe Triple H had something with Evolution. I don't have one.
Right now, there is nobody on the roster, and I'll probably get heat for saying this, that gets a crowd reaction better than Rikishi and Too Cool got. And they were over. Like, that was a top act when you had all the other talents there. And of course, there's no crowd to base it off of, but just watching at home, you at least feel good seeing it. I did not have one feel good moment watching Raw last night, with the exception of seeing Zelina Vega, because she's always fantastic. But there's nothing that says, you know what, that was good, that was creative. When I watched the NXT pay-per-view, I thought the finish of the girls' triple threat match was creative.
Yeah.
Okay. Well done. And it made sense because...
And the spot off the house.
Yeah. Well, but even all that shit has to stop too, because all you're seeing is people standing waiting to catch somebody now.
I know, but you have to, suspend reality. So hopefully you're not watching the person standing there waiting to catch them. You're looking at the person as they're flying down.
But that's how the camera angle is shot. Yeah. People are staring up, looking at them. And there's way too many dives. It's like it's not even a match anymore unless someone's diving through the ropes.
Yeah.
And here's the thing. It's insulting our intelligence, because if it happens every match, how come nobody just steps aside?
It's funny you say that, because I remember Damien telling me, and he remembers being told by his high school teacher, special effects only special when you do it once in a while.
Yep, exactly. It's not special anymore.
All right, well, that was Raw. Again, we watch because we love, and we watch, Dave and I watch because we have to, but we're hoping for better. We are hoping for better.
I mean, this is the honest to God truth. I have to sometimes set my alarm on my phone, because I know if it's bad, I'm going to doze off. I at least want to catch the last 20 minutes. You know what I mean?
So what you're saying is, don't forget about Meathead. I got to see the main so I can talk about it. The alarm's going off. Time to wake up.
Exactly. Yes.
That's sad. It's true.
I get it. I'm old, but damn, when it's that bad, when it's that uneventful. Here's the thing. I can sit through a 3.5-hour Avengers movie, and I've watched it a million times. But throughout that movie, there's always that feel-good moment. There's always that one thing. Oh, that was kick-ass. I can't wait to see it. I'm waiting for that on Raw. Yeah. I truly am. And I have a lot of friends that work there, and I've told them the same thing. Please do something different. I'm begging you. And they're not. And I know that their hands are tied because people at the time make certain decisions. But you have the most athletically gifted talent in the world right now. And they're not getting over to the point where, I want to watch every night. Or every Monday.
Unbelievable, Dave. Well, real quick, coming up this Thursday, we've got Prime Time with Shane Helms again. Hurricane Helms. I know you had a bad week. I believe Shane beat you this week and be the booker.
Listen, be the booker is how I would do it, which is always right. Shane just went along with the status quo. That's the difference.
So again, like I said, he won, you lost. Coming up this week, I hope there's another one where we're going to be booking Backlash. I mean, we never promise them, but
right. Yeah, I mean, right now it's personal, and I got to kind of,
right, get your comeuppance. You got to get it back.
Exactly.
So we'll also have a draft update. And again, I don't want to spoil Damien's, little thing where he's not technically in last anymore by himself. He's tied with Linda, but
yeah, but if you're going to be in the bottom of anything, be on the bottom with Linda Kay. You know what I mean?
What kind of podcast are you trying to turn this into? I mean,
I'm just saying, if you're gonna like be in last place, I would want to be in last with Linda because I know I'll have a good time. If you're last by yourself, I mean, come on.
Yeah, we do have a draft update coming up this weekend on primetime on Saturday as well. So Fighter Fest.
Promise?
I promise. Yes, Fighter Fest is something that AEW is going to be putting out. There's going to be an update that Damien may not be into. So we'll have to see. Hey, folks, make sure you're liking and subscribing to us on all the channels. That means Facebook. That means YouTube. That means Apple Podcasts. That means Fight TV. We're also available on Spotify. Make sure you're downloading. Again, we don't know if we're doing extra episodes. So if there is a beat up book there this week, you'll get a notification.
Yes.
Perfect. Well, hey, Dave, thank you again for waking up in the morning with me on a Tuesday morning.
Hey, thanks for waking me up again.
Hey, no problem. Again, you said you're old, even though the backstory is you've only got a month on me. So for David Herro, I'm the man they call Meathead. Thanks for stopping by. So long, everyone.